what's up everybody? It's Captain McKnight coming back at you with another video. Today I want to talk about a topic that affects me personally, and I would be willing to bet it affects a lot of people who would be watching this video. Guilt. Video games. They go hand in hand. Why? Well, if you're like me, gaming isn't just a hobby. It's something you really enjoy. It helps you relax, especially after like a long day at work, connect with friends, experience great stories, challenge your brain. But even after all that stuff, guilt seems to set in. Why does gaming, something fun, creative, and even social, sometimes make us feel bad about ourselves? We'll look at it from a few angles. Cultural expectations, productivity pressure, how games are perceived versus other hobbies, and some psychological stuff too. And hopefully, by the end of all this, you'll feel a little less alone, and maybe even stop feeling so guilty about playing. Let's start with the obvious reason. The pressure to always be productive. Today, we live in a society that worships productivity. There's this unspoken idea that every minute of your day should be spent doing something useful. Working, learning, exercising, hustling. And those are all great things. But when we sit down to play a game, we're not producing anything. We're not advancing our career. We're not checking off a to-do list. And even if gaming helps us recharge mentally, which it absolutely does, it doesn't look productive from the outside. So our brains kind of panic. We feel like we're losing time, we're wasting time. And here's the thing, rest is not a waste. Entertainment is not a waste. Just because you're not making money or posting progress on social media doesn't mean what you're doing has no value. Gaming gives your brain a break. It's fun, it can be emotional, meaningful, social, and sometimes educational. And I know there are a lot of people out in the world who would hear me say that and think I am just an idiot who doesn't know what he's talking about. But those are people who have probably never played anything in their lives past Pong, you know? It's because we've internalized this belief that every hour has to count that we forget that joy counts too, and that joy comes in different flavors. Some people love going outside and playing baseball, which is amazing. That's awesome. Some people like to just go read a book. Great. And some people like to play video games too, but it's that the reason that affects us so much is probably because of how games are viewed versus other media and other forms of relaxation. Compare gaming to other hobbies, like watching movies, reading novels. Those don't get nearly as much hate, right? You tell someone you watched a movie for 2 hours and nobody blinks. You read a 500-page fantasy novel and people say, wow, that's so impressive. But play a game for 2 hours? Suddenly, you're a slacker. You're lazy. You need to go do something. And why is that? A big part of it is generational. A lot of people still think video games are just for kids, so when adults play, it's seen as immature. And if you're not a gamer, if you don't play yourself, it's easy to reduce gaming to something trivial. They don't see the depth, the artistry, or the creativity. Another factor is games are interactive. You're actually doing something, and that makes it more immersive and more addictive. And that addiction can lead to problems. I know I myself, when I was growing up, was pretty addicted to video games. And that was because I mostly had nothing else to do once I got home from school than go home and play video games. This fear, this stereotype that games suck you in and keep you from real life, but I mean, to be fair, Netflix does that too. So does TikTok. So does binge reading an entire book series. Games just get judged more harshly. And it's just there's that stereotype in society today. I also think that the guilt ties into your identity. What kind of person are you? What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of person do you think others see? If you're ambitious or high achieving, gaming might feel like it doesn't fit your image. Like, you're supposed to be this driven, successful adult. So what are you doing raiding dungeons and collecting virtual armor sets? Maybe you grew up hearing things like, games rot your brain, or stop wasting your life on that thing. And that message just got buried so deep into your subconscious that even when you know better now, and you're older, and you know that gaming isn't, a waste of time, that little bit of guilt is still in there. It feels like you're betraying your better self by enjoying something that's labeled as unimportant. But here's the truth. What you enjoy is part of who you are. You don't have to cut yourself in half to meet someone else's standard, and you should never forget that. I also think there's a bit of a psychological aspect to this guilt that we feel. Guilt, psychologically, is a moral emotion. It usually pops up when we think we're violating a value. So if you value hard work or discipline or growth, and then you do something that doesn't seem to align with those values, you feel guilty even though no one else is judging you. But here's the twist. Your games might be solid, and your beliefs about gaming might be outdated. The guilt isn't telling you that games are bad. It's telling you that your inner compass and your actual behavior are misaligned, so maybe it's time to update your compass. Ask yourself, do I really believe gaming is wrong? Or do I believe in balance, in joy, in self-care? Because you can value both effort and play. It doesn't have to just be one or the other. So, how do we stop feeling guilty? First, remind yourself it's okay to enjoy things. You don't need to earn rest or joy. You're allowed to play because you're a human being, not a productivity machine. Not some AI who is just here to fulfill one goal. Second, think about why you play. Is it a stress relief? Is it connection? Is it challenge or immersion or nostalgia? Those are all valid reasons. Games give us something. They're not empty experiences. Third, you should try reframing the story. Instead of thinking, I wasted 2 hours gaming, try, I gave myself a break. I learned something. I explored a cool world. I hung out with my friends. That's mostly why I play games, is I play to connect with people. I play to hang out with my friends. And, I mean, to be fair, sometimes I play a game because I love a game. I'm gonna be real. I played Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal for the first time in the past couple weeks, leading up to Doom the Dark Ages, instantly on my top 10 franchises. And I took my time with it. That's another thing, is rushing through games. I felt this way since I've been working, is I feel like I only have a dedicated amount of time for the longest time that I can be playing at night, so I'm optimizing my way through these games and I'm just not getting the full experience. And when I played Doom, I turned that part of my brain off and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take my time with this. I don't need to rush through this game, these games, the DLC. And it took me about 3 weeks to get through both games with about 4 hours to play every day. And I just took my time and I really, really enjoyed it. And I think that being able to say I enjoyed something, I didn't waste 30 hours playing Doom. I didn't waste 3 weeks playing Doom. I think that matters to me. It's just flipping that script in my own mind of how I feel about playing these games. I also think you should set boundaries, especially if you need them. If you're playing 10 hours a day and ignoring real responsibilities, that is a different conversation. Because I was that way. I would get home and I'd just play, and then boom, it's 2 in the morning. Okay, now I need to go to bed, wake up, go to school, back, and I'm now playing. That was unhealthy, and that was an addiction. There is a complete difference between enjoying something and having an addiction to it. You can take the time out of your day to enjoy something, but if you're neglecting real responsibilities, that's where part of that guilt comes from, and that matters. And yeah, that guilt you feel, it is common, it's human, but it's not always accurate. Video games aren't the enemy. They're stories, they're challenges, they're escapes, they're friendships. They are valid, and so is your time. Next time that guilty voice creeps in, try talking back to it. Guilt isn't always the truth. It's just a signal. You get to decide what you do with it. Thank you very much for watching. If this resonated with you, please drop a comment, leave a like, subscribe, or don't. I'm just happy to be here talking to you guys. And hey, if you need somebody to say it, you're allowed to enjoy your games. Thank you.